This is for Nicola, primarily the first question. In terms of those protesters who have been blocking key roads such as the M25, roughly what proportion have been locking on or gluing themselves to a road as opposed to just sitting on a road?
Okay, so what we saw was, first of all, they would get themselves onto the road, sit down, they would actually wait until the police arrived, and then they started to lock on. So that they were causing, if you like, maximum delay. I would say, on average, if you had 10 of them sat down, at least 3/4 of them were glued.
So they'd get there initially, sit down, not immediately lock on.
Yeah.
And then they'd wait for the police to arrive and start doing it. Did the police do anything to stop them from doing it when they saw them doing it?
You can see in some of the footage, which is freely available on Insulate Britain's website, that the police are trying to stop them putting their hands down on the road surface, but as soon as they've put their hand on the road surface, then of course specialist teams need to come in to debond them, as it were. So that's adding to the safety risk, but also adding to that delay as well.
So broadening it out to Nicola and to John also, I mean, obviously there's some very good things, I believe, that hopefully this bill is able to do when it comes to providing a deterrent, and I know that's something that both of you have mentioned. But with regards to the police and the threshold at which they intervene, and the balance they strike between right to protest but also right for others to go about their business, etc. Do you think the police strike the balance about right at the moment? Have there been occasions where you've perhaps been frustrated that the police haven't always intervened as robustly as they could have been done within the existing laws?
I mean, the most recent experience that I can talk about, I mean, I think the police were frustrated that they weren't able to step in and deal with it. They weren't on the ground immediately. Certainly there is a frustration from my team on the ground that the police aren't more direct with some of the protesters. I think that's certainly true. Invariably what happens on HS2 sites is that the protesters will get there, you know, some weeks ahead of when we plan to take possession of land. So they are always looking forward and looking at what we are about to do. We publish all this information online about where the route obviously is and when we're going to be taking possession, and they are always ahead of that.